And what kind of player am I? Am I an offensive man or a defensive man? That's right, I'm neither. I play my opponent. If he likes to attack, I force him to defend himself. If he's a cautious man, I draw him into dangerous water. See, you get so frustrated playing defensive positions, you make stupid moves you never make if you were thinking. When you come here, boy, check that shit at the door,
I'm at the top of my game, cut the check. Somebody better king me, I'm the best. Let's play a game of checkers. Better yet, the game don't love nobody. Let's play chess.
I keep forgetting when I'm in love anymore. I keep forgetting.
All right. Here we go for the 14th episode of the Blue Collar Intellectual Podcast. Let me get that going here. All right. So, for tonight, we have a few things going on right now in the world. We have impeachment. We have some tech censorship going on. Sorry, adjusting my headphones and stuff for a minute. So we have impeachment. We have tech censorship. We have grifters that brought down a movement as a topic for tonight. And we have the GOP establishment striking back to try and take back their party. Okay, or what they think is their party. All right. Again, as usual, I'm Julian Aciard. I'm the Blue Collar Intellectual. Go ahead and check me out. The website will be up soon, hopefully by the end of the week. All right. So I'm excited about that, where you'll be able to read articles written by me, written by other creators, articles from good sites, all well written. I'll be sharing information from people within the conservative movement that are trying to change things and reshape and fix the party and put it back on principles while still maintaining everything that made the populism over the past 4 years that drove this movement, that brought out 75 million voters for Donald Trump. We're going to keep all that, keep the energy. We're going to keep the fight in our blood, while at the same time, we're going to reshape the platform itself. We're going to get back to principles. We're going to get back to ending. We're going to continue the pulling back of foreign wars and fighting against the sending my brothers and sisters over to fight in countries that we have no business being in for people who are going to profit off of it, regardless of whether it's worth us being there or not. I'm going to talk about what happened at the Capitol. Again, I did a video on it. You can go to the YouTube page on YouTube, The Blue Collar Intellectual. This is a short 20-minute video, what I thought about it. And, of course, I did one on the night of, as I was watching it, or the day of, as I was watching it happening. And I have plenty of other videos. I did an interview with Dr. Darrell Scott, Wayne Dupree, Felicia Killings, Olivia Rondo, Larry Sharp, the gubernatorial candidate for New York for 2018, and some other great conservatives, Jonesy, Podwasted podcast, Dr. Terrence Williams. We talked about Chicago and solving the crime there. Some good content for you, in addition to some solo episodes where I was just going over news and current events. Okay, so with everything going on right now in the conservative movement, I know a lot of us are in our feels right now, and it feels like the world is sort of falling down around us because we invested everything in trying to get Trump reelected. I'll get into that a little bit later and how we can rebuild. But first, let's go with the events of the Capitol. So at the Capitol, and I've seen this online in many different chat forums on Twitter, Clout Hub, Gab, Parler before they shut it down, and I'll get into that too. And I keep seeing this theme, the trust the plan. I don't trust the plan. I never did trust the plan. Damn near everything in the plan was based on Hail Mary events and wishful thinking. All right, it was all based on wishful thinking that everyone within the sphere that was hearing the cases and everything were going to act in the best interest of, performing their duties as officers of the law, as constitutional focused judges, and that is not what happened. And the fact is, there's a lot of people that were acting in their own self-interest, and I can't be as pissed at them as I would like to be, because we've had people threatened with violence and danger throughout the last couple of years, so it shouldn't be news to us that all of this happened. Okay, so as we look at everything that took place in the Capitol, I was not happy with what I saw. I thought it was dangerous. I thought it was bad. By no means am I supporting what happened at the Capitol. I don't think Trump deserves to be impeached for what happened, because I listened to his entire speech and I read the transcript word for word, and I'm not going to read it on here. It's an hour and a half. It's quite a long speech, and it would be a complete waste of time. I'm sure most of you have already either made up your opinion about it, but I'll give mine. Okay, I don't believe the speech was as bad as the media is making it out to be. I don't believe it warrants impeachment. I think it's a bit of Monday quarterbacking, and a whole lot of people that are in their feels and very emotional about what took place at the Capitol, to which I was very emotional too. All right. What took place at the Capitol was absolutely reprehensible. I don't condone it in any way, shape, or form. There is a time when you take up arms, but that was not the time. All right, there's still things we could do. We took over more state houses. Conservatives still had options. And anybody that knows me or has talked to me knows that I'm going to be running in this next election. So that my stance that there's still things that we could have accomplished shouldn't surprise anyone. And where my blue collar intellectual gear, sweatshirts, and everything are available on my website. So like I was saying before, I don't believe the website I'll put in the piece at the bottom of the screen. Like I was saying, I don't believe that Trump should be impeached for what happened. And I'm saying that because after listening to his speech, he specifically said, go peacefully and patriotically and make your voices heard. He never once incited violence. He never once called for violence. And I think as adults, the language that we use matters. And I don't think we should throw that out just because we're angry and we need somebody to blame, which is exactly what this is. Nancy Pelosi has also made this very clear that she's doing this specifically to make sure that Trump cannot run again. In 2024, she wants to basically take that chess piece off the board, so it's no longer an issue. Okay, and as much as I have issues with her doing that, and I do have issues with her doing that specifically just to garner a political outcome of that nature. I think it's completely inappropriate. But given the impeachment, it's going on right now. The Democrats do have the votes to be able to pass it, so it's pretty much a done deal. What remains to be seen, and that's going to happen whether I like it or not, it's going to happen regardless of how I feel about the election itself. And we'll see how it goes from there. So, again, I want to say I don't want Donald Trump to run in 2024, and I don't because in 2024 there will not be the Democrats will not be able to turn out the numbers that they were able to turn out against Donald Trump. The emotional disdain and attachment is not going to be there, which gives us the edge. I think he's more valuable outside of politics, where he can do what he does best, where he could possibly build a media company and help us with this movement. However, I'm kind of resigning myself to that might not happen either. He might just walk out of the White House and decide that that's it, and he's ready to go back and be a civilian again. And even still, that it's to be completely expected, so I don't know how I could really hold that against him. I mean, after everything that has gone on over the last 4 years and as much crap as he's taken, can I really blame him for wanting to go and be a civilian again and just live out his life? But it is what it is. As far as the impeachment goes, everyone has their motivations for doing what they're doing. Everyone has their own specific reasons why they want to do this, and we're not going to change it. At this point, I think there's no more dialing back where we are. There's no getting rid of what we're dealing with. The political establishment within the Republican Party is trying to figure out a way to get rid of Donald Trump and be able to take back the party. And I'm going to do everything I can to stop that from happening, because I believe that we are here right now specifically because of the anger that the average conservative feels that our party continuously screws us over every election cycle. And they run on sweet words, and they pat us on the butt and we tell us that we're special, and then they go out and they screw us over, and we're left holding the bag and taking all the blame. Okay? Now, I'm not going to say that Trump was without mistakes throughout his entire presidency. He did make some serious mistakes. He screwed up a lot. And I think any rational adult can make that statement. So, but again, where we're at right now has resulted in, of course, Donald Trump is about to be the first president in history to be impeached twice. Mitch McConnell is trying to figure out whether or not he's going to impeach him. So far, there was a link in the New York Times that from apparently one of his staffers that he will be impeached. At this point, it's 50-50. The election's now on the line. Mitch McConnell is safe for the next 6 years, at the end of which he very likely is going to retire, and if he doesn't, he'll probably be primaried out. So, while we're trying to rebuild the party, and we should have been looking at trying to move forward since November 3rd. We should have been focused on Georgia. And then we should have been focused. Now we should be focused on 2022. Okay, the election cycles have gotten longer. They're going to go deeper. They're going to cut deeper. We're going to have to deal with a whole lot of tech censorship because Republicans over the last 4 years have done absolutely nothing. And we've barely built anything to compete against them. And despite all of our disdain at Twitter and Facebook and Google and all the other tech lords, we've failed to build anything of our own that can compete with them.
We've barely built.
So, I mean, do we really have a leg to stand on at this point? Can we really blame ourselves? I mean, can we really blame them for doing what they always do at this point when we have actively ignored what we were planning on, what we are tenets of conservatism, what we say that we should be focusing on. Well, we always say that we should pull up our bootstraps and we should pull ourselves up on bootstraps and we should move forward and build our own, or move out or move away. Vote with your dollar, vote with your feet. Well, we should have voted with our dollar and we should have voted with our feet. We should have stopped using Google. We should have stopped using Twitter. We should have stopped using Facebook. Okay? And the reason I'm using them right now is because I have to. I have to be able to accomplish what I need to accomplish, to be able to evangelize this conservative movement, because right now the other platforms are largely and wholly inept. I mean, if we had done the work, Parler would not have been able to be shut down. They would still be out there kicking ass. All right. We should have had our own servers. To be honest, I'm in the part that I think that Gab and Clout Hub and MeWe and Rumble and Parler should all partner up and get their own damn servers. You want real competition, it's going to take us to start using unconventional thinking. All right, I don't care. Make it a play on the same censorship we're dealing with right now and call it the Tech Lords. All right, call it Tech Lord. I think that would be hilarious. So, dealing with the impeachment, Trump is most likely going to be impeached. I would put it 50-50 that the Senate is also going to follow suit and impeach him, mostly because they've been trying to figure out a way to get rid of Donald Trump. They've been trying to figure out a way to get rid of him because they don't like him. It's really just that simple. They don't like him. They've wanted him gone for a long time now, and we shouldn't be surprised at the fact that they're now taking their shot to get him out the door. Oh, yay. Just got verified a couple minutes ago that we are now on Google Podcasts as well. By the way, a glass of Willet bourbon is a great way to unwind from the day. You should give it a shot, nice and smooth. But I digress. Well, let's get back into it. So, as I'm looking at everything that's going on right now, and I'm looking at where we are, we had people that glommed onto the movement, the conservative movement, and they crippled it. I put a lot of the blame for losing Georgia on Lynn Wood for telling people to not vote. I don't understand in what world it would be okay to tell people not to vote and then get pissed when we lose. It just doesn't make sense to me that was even considered. Okay, it's about the dumbest damn thing I've ever heard is, hey, I'm just not going to vote in the election, and we're going to hope that things are going to work out. We're going to hope that maybe we'll pull it out in the end. And that's just not how life works. There's nothing that can be gained by not running the race. You can't win the race by not running it. So it is what it is. We still have things that we can do. We still have things that we can accomplish. We can still, hopefully, we can still work things out with this 2022 election. We got a lot of good candidates running. So at the riots we had, and my brother-in-law was down there with the Proud Boys. He got hit in the back of the head with a brick. He went back to the hotel before they even got to the Capitol because stuff was starting to get ridiculous. And for everyone that breached the Capitol, they deserve to go to jail for a felony, sedition. And I don't think that it's unreasonable to take that position. However, there are going to be people that are going to say that that is an unreasonable position. I personally don't believe it is. I can't give you my sources of what's going on within Congress and stuff like that. I can't tell you what I've been told, but the high likelihood is that it's going to be, they're going to try and ram people down our throats like Mitt Romney again. So far, the list of people running looks like Ted Cruz, Mitt Romney, Ron DeSantis, and I'm just going on the conservative side. There's rumors that Chris Sununu here in New Hampshire might run. To be honest, I doubt that, but you know, people who have power always want more power, so that's not surprising in any way, shape, or form. We got a little far from conservative principles. And I'd say that the grifters brought us here, and a lot of the cronies that made their way into the White House under the guise of the MAGA movement, because not everyone in the administration was conservative, and most of them were not a part of this liberty movement that Trump was a part of. And Trump himself even is not a traditional conservative. To be honest, if you were to hear my positions on things, you'd think I wasn't a traditional conservative. But the difference is I divide my social conservatism, which is how I live my life and interact with the people around me, and how I treat and engage in my community, with conservative governance, which I don't believe that the two should be mixed. I believe social conservatism is spread by example, and it's spread through engagement, and it's spread through person-to-person interaction, whereas I believe conservative governance is what you want the government to be involved in, what they should and what they shouldn't do, what they should stay away from entirely, and the limits that government should have. It is one of the biggest tenets of conservative governance. It requires strict adherence to the Constitution, even when it's not popular to do so. So, what's happening, and I was trying to keep up on what was going on in the Capitol while I'm on here with you guys, so that if there's an update while I'm on the air, I can give it to you. Last I heard, it was like 232 to like 197 or 196 when they were voting on the House. So there's that. And I don't think there's any way, there's really no way to change or alter that. To be honest, the whole Stop the Steal movement was based on just a complete fallacy. It was based on the idea that we were going to pull off something that has never been done, and that everyone was going to be willing to throw away their political careers to get Donald Trump another term. So it's actually passed. It's actually passed. He's actually been impeached now. So now where we go from here, like I said, I don't believe that Trump should run for another term. I think he should stay out of the political sphere as a candidate, but I believe he should start a media company and help grow this conservative movement. And he very well might be, but it looks like they're going to burn down any chance that he had of accomplishing any of that presently, as they pretty much destroy the entire movement. I mean, they are absolutely putting everything they have into not just destroying the movement, but they want to destroy and lock up anybody whoever associated with the Trumps. They want to lock up his family. They're talking about trying to charge Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump Jr., and I'm sure Eric Trump is on their list too. To which I say, duh. Anybody with the Trump name, if they were to run in 2024, would be starting out the primaries against possibly 7 to 9 other candidates with 40% of the base, which is a demolishing factor. It is such a big factor to be able to start out with such a huge portion of the electorate like that in a primary season. Personally, I don't want the Trumps to run. I think they would be far more effective putting their skills to use outside the outside the machine itself. While we were worried about everything going on with the election, trying to save Donald Trump, and we lost the Senate because our focus wasn't where it should be, and the GOP utterly failed at trying to hold the Senate, we lost, and now we're going to take that L, and we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to fix this. So the tech lords have subsequently, in the effort to shut down Donald Trump and end him, they have decided that they purged within 24 hours, they purged his Twitter, his Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, his there was a rumor that he switched over to Parler, but I didn't see any evidence of that. I didn't see any actual evidence that he had switched over to Parler, so I can't say that he did or didn't. But I can say that he is no longer an option, because Amazon kicked Parler off their servers within 24 hours of notifying them that they either had to acquiesce to the restrictions of Amazon and Google and the rest of the tech lords, which that action alone, the fact that they were all working together and decided to work in concert with each other, is what is called under antitrust laws a cartel. Them making decisions together in order to reach a specific goal like that's a cartel. So they got him banned, and now that they have him banned, and they've pretty much destroyed all of our they destroyed all of our interesting. They destroyed all of our chances at having another platform, because when you look at what's going on with I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my mind on it. When you look at what's going on with Gab and Clout Hub, they're all tremendously slow. They're not up to par by any standard whatsoever. And that doesn't help us at all. So as we move into this next Biden administration, he's already picked a good, if not a good portion, if not all of his cabinet. And it looks like one of the first things we're going to do is try to go after gun rights, to which I say we should do the exact same thing they did with immigration. And we should fight the immigration at that level. We should fight all the immigration at the local level using the sanctuary city tactics and everything that they had used. So I think that would help us out tremendously. I'm sorry. It looks like I froze for a moment. Did I freeze? No. Okay. Oh, that was weird. Okay. Sorry. That is my mistake. Technology is always interesting. So, this weekend, after talking to Sonny Johnson online this weekend, I'm sure her episode on SiriusXM is going to be interesting. And as usual, I'll probably call in. And on Twitter, I'll be assembling the thread while Code Felicia Killings does the quoting. And I'll add in my own favorite quotes along the as it goes on, as usual. But oh, audio's gone. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Is that better? Hey, give me a thumbs up in the chat. All right, good. So, with everything going on right now, and it looks like we're going to be going into this next round into a Biden administration, I think civil disobedience is the way to go if we want to fix everything going on. And we need to be putting all of our effort into the 2022 race, which means we have to be engaged in our community. And the one thing that as conservatives we have forgotten over these over the past 100 years is the goal of most conservatives seems to always be to be able to be left alone by government and just live your life without being molested in any way, shape, or form by the government, which is, yes, that's my goal as well. However, freedom and liberty requires responsibility, requires active community engagement. It requires us to be part of our community and to build up our community and solve problems at the local level, especially through private organizations and private effort. Because if we don't, every time that we disengage from our community, it leaves a gap, and that gap has to be filled in by something. And then when people cry for government to solve their problems, those cries seem to be well-founded. Those cries seem to be well-founded when there's nothing to pick up the slack, when there's nobody to fix the problems, and government has to step in. And every time that happens, that's a loss for conservatism. That's a loss for the Constitution. It's a loss for how this country was designed to work. And we could have prevented everything that happened in this election. In this election, there were people sounding the alarm about the legal cases that were going to arise and about all the changing of the rules and stuff that was happening far, far, far way back in March, when as soon as the lockdowns happened, all of a sudden it was like court case after court case was being filed. Oh man, we all got to have mail-in ballots and nobody can go to the polls, despite Dr. Fauci saying the exact opposite. Okay, they were already working on trying to get mail-in ballots. If you'd been paying attention, they had said it over the past couple of years, so it shouldn't be something that anybody was unaware of. However, now with everything that's transpired in this past election and the lack of engagement that we had, and now it looks like we are, just a minute, redo this, boom. And the lack of engagement from the conservative side. And let me reiterate this: the big, huge parties, the MAGA rallies and stuff, those were great to gin up the base, and they were great for the people who were willing to come and see them, the people who were already open-minded enough to come and look. It was not good enough for the engagement with people who have either never met a Republican, we haven't talked to in the past, people who normally don't vote Republican that we also could have reached. Okay, that was our failure. The not having a plan to deal with all these legal cases, that was also likewise our failure. That was our failure to do better and to fix these court cases and make sure that we were adhering to the Constitution, adhering to the rules before it got to this point. And now, and to be honest, everything that happened since, now I put a lot of blame where we are and how we got to the Capitol riots and stuff on Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, and Lin Wood. All right? While Trump's comments in the speech were, in my mind, it was typical Donald Trump, and it wasn't bad. He actually said, peaceably and patriotically make our voices heard at the Capitol. Peaceably and patriotically. That is not incitement of violence. So, but if you look at the speeches from Rudy Giuliani, combat, trial by combat, you look at Lin Wood. Lin Wood's over here saying that we need to line them, call in the firing squads and stuff, and we need to forcibly take our capital back. We need to march on Washington, and we need to drag him out of office and stuff. Yeah, that could actually be construed as inciting violence. So if anyone should be having court cases brought against him, it should be Lin Wood. It shouldn't be Trump. Right now, this whole impeachment is a political referendum on Trump, and they're hoping that they can wipe him off the board permanently and make sure, and they want to target his family to make sure that none of them can run, because they're a force to be reckoned with just by being a part of the administration and a vocal part of the administration in the campaign. Going into this next round and looking at the candidates that we have, Ron DeSantis, Ted Cruz, and Mitt Romney. I will never support Mitt Romney. I don't. He is like the worst possible scenario for who the Republican Party could run. I don't think he could generate the base. The base despises him right now. And Trump supporters make up about, I'd say, a good 70 to 80% of the base. So to run Mitt Romney would be political suicide. The guy should just go retire. It's done. It's over with. We don't like you. Go away. I swear he's like a bad case of herpes or something. Or crabs. So I want to say everyone that said to trust the plan and said it was going to work out lied. Okay? All these lawyers, they knew damn well that, yes, you may have had a case, but you're relying on on getting into a courtroom and being heard by people who do not want to hear you. It's not likely to happen. And with the tech lords and the tech censorship, I already said that all the different smaller tech agencies that start up over the past couple of years should combine forces, buy a bunch of servers, and really give Google and Facebook and Twitter a run for their money. If they pooled resources, they would actually be a force to reckon with, and whoever could get Donald Trump to come to their resource could come to their site, that's immediately like 70 million people that are going to follow you, not including the people who are going to follow just to troll Donald Trump or follow because they hate him. I mean, the fact that the media hates him, they're going to have to follow him onto this new site just because they hate him. And when they follow, they're going to bring followers with them. Every big influencer is going to bring followers with them. So, and all the people that they hate, all the trolls, are going to have to go onto these new sites too. And right now, oddly enough, and Germany and England and many other foreign countries have been bashing Twitter for censoring the President of the United States. And this should come as no surprise. I mean, they've been down Twitter and Facebook's throats for a while now over not only speech that they allow on their platforms, but censoring people who shouldn't be censored and not censoring people who should be censored. Like, we have dictators talking about blowing up countries, and yet they're not getting censored, but we censor the President of the United States. And let's see, Deep House Nation, facts, why didn't they have a contingency plan alternative since so many of us saw this coming? Because people didn't listen. The fact is, people didn't listen. Just like when we tried to warn the administration and the campaign that they needed to have lawyers on the ground fighting these court cases prior to the election. Remember, overturning an election, regardless of whether you believe it's stolen or not, is incredibly hard to do. It's damn near impossible. We should have been challenging all the changing of the rules prior to the election. The reason they found no fraud is because you pretty much legalized by every standard what would have been normally considered fraud. Every irregularity was allowed. Every mistake and error was just, it's no big deal. So now I'm waiting for a second round of confirmations from a lot of the candidates that ran in this last round. I'm hoping a lot of them do run again. There's some that I hope don't run again because they've made some statements since the end of their campaigns that I think would knock them out of actually being in contention and being able to actually do something. So there's that. As far as the tech censorship, I mean, at the behest of everything that was going on, at the start of the purge of people online, and you know what? I'm for free speech. Like, I'm a big fan of, you don't have to like me and you can say nasty, evil, disgusting things to me, because if I start censoring you, eventually they're going to come and censor me. So I pretty much take that line across the board. But I gotta say, the whole QAnon conspiracy was completely counterproductive. Completely counterproductive. It really hurt us. It did not help us at all. It made it really easy to discount the entire movement and everything that we were working towards. It made it really, really easy to be able to say, and this is where I say I put no stock in like Alex Jones. I don't, because I see a lot of the stuff that gets said on his channel, and a lot of the people who constantly follow him and stuff, and I I don't think it's helpful. I don't think it's helpful at all. I mean, now it looks like the entire conservative movement, so I lost some followers on Twitter, but most of it was due to, it was people that got purged. I don't know why, like, QAnon people be following me. I'm not a fan of QAnon. I'm vocally against it. But apparently some people got purged. A whole bunch of people left voluntarily to go follow other conservatives follow conservatives onto other platforms after Twitter kicked off Trump. A whole bunch of people were like, that's it, I'm done with it. And I assume that oh no. All right, I'm back. uh, I'm going to mark that up to Tech Lords shutting me down. All right. They're trying to shut me down. Trying to take my job. So, like I said, with everything going on right now, we need to pivot and we need to move into this next round. We need to have an actual plan. I'm running for office, as I said before, against Chris Pappas, and I hope to be able to do. I want to talk about solutions and stay away from the bullshit politics that we deal with on a regular basis, because I don't believe that they do us justice. when we spend more time arguing about which party is better than we do actually trying to solve problems. And when I say the grifters cost us big time in this last election, I do mean Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, Lynn Wood, Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani, Ali, Charlie Kirk. You notice they all got rich. But what were their tangibles? Did they sign people up to vote? Can they actually tell you how many people they actually got to sign up? That they got to register Republican? We took some new strategies from this last round of engaging in new communities and things of that nature. I think we need to continue along that line. So, again, we'll see how we go from here. And like I said, the impeachment's over. It's already been done. There's nothing we can do to turn that back now. There's no way that we can fix it. That's, to be honest, that's going to be it. That's just a quick update. I'll have more for you tomorrow, and I'll do a more in-depth dive into all of it. But I got to go and do some daddy time. So I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll give you more red meat tomorrow. A hell of a lot better show tomorrow. Okay, subscribe and share, and I will get back to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Stay safe. Blue collar intellectual out.
And what kind of player am I? Am I an offensive man or a defensive man? That's right, I'm neither. I play my opponent. If he likes to attack, I force him to defend himself. If he's a cautious man, I draw him into dangerous water. See, you get so frustrated playing defensive positions, you make stupid moves you never make if you were thinking. When you come here, boy, check that shit at the door.
I'm at the top of my game, cut the check. Somebody better king me, I'm the best. Let's play a game of checkers. Better yet, the game don't love nobody. Let's play chess.